Hi friends, today we're going to learn how to draw a Valentine's Day scene. So this scene has a heart picture, another heart picture with a frame around it, and a vase with red roses, flowers in it. And it also has some chocolate kisses on the table. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to start off by drawing that vase. So a vase is like a big tall cup, kind of like a jug that could hold milk or that could hold juice. And now let's draw little flowers here and draw another rose. You can tell it's a rose because it kind of has a little squiggly, like it kind of, you look at the middle of it and there's all these petals that kind of wrap around each other and like swirl. So we're going to draw another rose. We have 4 roses. You know what they call a group of rose flowers? They call it a bouquet. A bouquet of flowers is when you have a big bunch of roses all tied together. That's called a bouquet of flowers. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roses right now. And now let's draw these leaves. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. They'll often take these, when they have an arrangement, they call it a floral arrangement. Floral just means flower, essentially. And an arrangement is just when you get a bunch of flowers and you arrange them with some other plants to make them look very nice and pretty. So often what they'll do is they'll put roses in a vase and then they'll put in some other stems or leaves from other plants that kind of add some colors and kind of fill out the vase and the floral arrangement. And then it looks really, really pretty. And what people often will do is on Valentine's Day, which is coming up, it's on February 14th, it's the same day every year, just like your birthday's the same day every year. February 14th is always Valentine's Day. So on Valentine's Day, people will buy flowers and they'll give them to their spouses if they're married, their husband or their wife, or their girlfriend or their fiance, or their boyfriend. Yeah, so I actually gave my wife some flowers not too long ago. I went to the store and I bought some flowers because I wanted to show her that I love her. And sometimes giving gifts is a really good way to do that. Alright, what should we draw next? Maybe we could add a little bit of a design to the front of the vase, like some sort of a picture, so it's not just white. Maybe we can add some sort of a pattern. So we'll put these little squiggly lines there, going across, wrapping around the vase, and then we'll draw a heart shape on the front of it. So this is probably the most Valentine romantic vase you've ever seen. So we'll draw a little edge there. These nice little squiggly line designs that looks like it's wrapped around with a band or just painted the design. So do you know what vases are made out of? Vases, or these jugs, are often ceramic, kind of like a rock, or a tile. Have you ever walked on a tile floor? They're very hard. Also, often dishes, like bowls, are often ceramic, and often what they'll do is they'll make the shape of a jug by having this clay that's moldable, and they'll make a shape. They'll put it on a spinning disc, on a spinning plate, and it's called a potter's wheel, I'm pretty sure. And then what it does is it spins the lump of clay around, and you as the potter, you as the person making the vase or the pottery, can use your hands to kind of hollow out a cup or a vase, and you get to make the shape. And then once it's made, once you have the shape made, then you just take it and you put it into an oven that's very hot, and the oven cooks it. So it turns it from this clay, which is kind of like a soft, silky mud that's really smooth. It turns it from that clay into pottery, and it becomes very hard. And then what sometimes people will do is they'll take this enamel or this kind of coating. They'll often paint on it first, colors. Like, so we'll probably paint or color in that heart red. So they'll color whatever pictures they want on their pottery or their jug or their vase or their cup, whatever they're making, their bowl. And then they'll put this clear thing called enamel on the outside of the pottery. And then they'll put it in the oven and they'll bake it again. And that hardens that clear, it almost looks like glass. It hardens it, so it looks like glass and it's all shiny and pretty. Anyway, so that's kind of how they make, like we see in the picture, that's kind of how they make these jugs or pottery. It used to all be done by hand, but now there's machines that are very expensive and big that can mass produce all sorts of different kinds of dishes. So they're not always man-made now. They're probably made mostly by machines, with people kind of helping to do the process with the machine. So on the table you can see there is a Valentine note or a Valentine's Day card, and there's also some chocolates. It looks like Hershey's chocolate kisses, and that's just, it's in the shape of like a teardrop, and if you it's surrounded by this shiny wrapper, this metal wrapper, and when you open it up, then there's a little chocolate piece about the size of your thumb that is in the shape of a tear or a drop, and those are really yummy. In fact, I've had several different kinds of Hershey's chocolate kisses. So they have the normal milk chocolate, they have dark chocolate, and they also have milk chocolate filled with caramel or with other flavors. There's all sorts of, they probably even have a peppermint flavored one. There's probably a lot of different kinds of chocolate that they sell Hershey's chocolate kisses in. And then on the wall you can see we're drawing this picture portrait. So one is of a heart, a big heart. So you have this rectangle picture portrait. So rectangle is like a skinny or a tall square, or a wide square. And in this second portrait, let's draw some hearts, some smaller hearts, kind of set the mood a little bit. Maybe this is something that, you know, if I got home before my wife, I might set up the table all special with some roses and some chocolates and a nice note card. Now I wonder, you see that card on the table? I wonder what that says in it. That might say, because you could write a card for your family or for your friends, and you might say things that you really like about them, things that you admire about them, nice things that they've done for you or that you want to do for them. Those are all ways that you can let someone know that you care about them and you love them on Valentine's Day. And of course you don't have to wait until Valentine's Day. It can be just as special to do something like this any day of the year. And it's good to let your parents do things like this because it helps them feel happy and to love each other and to be happy and to love you. So let's color in these roses red, this beautiful red color. So draw these roses red. Very good. Look at that. They're beautiful. Did you know I used to live in this mobile home trailer park, and there were all of these rose bushes all around the trailer park, and it was so pretty. There was roses of all sorts of colors, and it was nice because if you needed a rose, you could just take one rose, and there was hundreds of roses, and you could give it to someone and tell them how you love them. So we'll draw this band around the vase red as well. And this other one, we'll color that in with the color red. There we go. All right, and you could always, I mean, you could color it whatever color you want to. You could color it blue. It's just the traditional color for hearts and things like that is red. Um, so let's see what we want to color in next. We could color in the table. We could color in the leaves. Why don't we color in these leaves? It kind of looks like ferns. Ferns is a certain kind of plant that have these green leaves that are kind of long and kind of jagged on the edges, kind of like you see in the picture, how there's kind of the edges that are kind of serrated or jagged. Those kind of look like ferns to me. So maybe they took some roses and then they put in some green ferns to kind of accent or bring out the roses, color and shape. So let's see, what else can I tell you about? Maybe I can tell you about chocolate. See the chocolates on the table, those candies? So those are called Hershey's Chocolate Kisses. So Hershey's is the brand name. That's the company that makes lots of chocolate. There's a few companies that make a lot of chocolate, and Hershey's is one of them. So they've got these chocolate kisses. And did you know that chocolate, in chocolate candies, there's something called cocoa. Cocoa is this brown powder, and it's kind of like the heart of chocolate. So there's things called cocoa beans. So there's places in the world where cocoa beans will grow on plants, and then people will get these cocoa beans and they'll roast them, and they'll turn them into cocoa powder. And they'll even get the oils out of them, and they'll take that and turn it into cocoa butter. And so when you're eating a chocolate, the chocolate that you have has probably cocoa powder, cocoa butter, and lots of sugar. Chocolate's not the most healthy because it has a lot of sugar and a lot of fat. And if you have too much fat, it can actually not be good for your heart. Your veins can get clogged up if you have too much fat in your system, and chocolate has a lot of fat, and that's why it melts in your mouth, because there's these fats that are solid, but when you put them into a warm place like your mouth, then they melt, and that's called a saturated fat. A saturated fat is one of these fats that is solid typically, but then if you get them a little bit warmer, they melt and they become liquid. Anyway, that's a few interesting facts about chocolate. Also, if I'm correct, chocolate has a certain thing in it called theobromine. Can you say theobromine? So theobromine makes you feel really happy, and it gives you that love feeling that people associate with chocolate. Because there's so much theobromine in it. There's also a little bit of caffeine in chocolate as well, but there's a lot more theobromine than caffeine. They're both stimulants. A stimulant is something that makes your body feel awake and alert and excited and feel good, kind of. They stimulate you. They're called stimulants. So those are some interesting facts about chocolate and what chocolate is made out of. Did you know that sometimes chocolates can get expensive right before a holiday? So if you want to go to the store and buy chocolates, they're often more expensive right around, Valentine's Day. But then right after a holiday like Valentine's Day or Easter or Christmas, you'll often see these big sales where the store will be trying to sell a lot of candy for really cheap. So you'll get a big bar of chocolate candy for really, really inexpensively. And that's because people, after the holidays, they're not as into buying chocolate for the holiday, but right up until the holiday and on the holiday, they'll often buy chocolates to give as gifts to other people. So that's another interesting thing about chocolates. Let's see. Did you know that roses smell very nice? A lot of flowers smell really nice. What else can I teach you about? Why don't we talk about the hearts? So you see the hearts? So every person has a heart inside of them, and you know what the heart does? The heart's a muscle that kind of like gets bigger and smaller. It contracts and expands, and it pumps blood through your body. So you know how you have veins that look kind of bluish or purplish? The heart is what's pushing that blood, pumping it through your body, helping get the blood to circulate, and that helps give your body oxygen and energy and help it be warm and regulated. And so it's very important to take good care of your heart. Some things you can do to take care of your heart are to eat vegetables and fruits, to drink water, to not eat things with lots of fat in them, or sugar. Those things can kind of cause problems for your heart. To eat, oatmeal or Cheerios, the kind of cereal that's not sugary, those are things that help your heart to be healthy. So if your mommy or your daddy ask you to eat something at dinner time, you probably should do it because it will help your heart be healthy. If they're telling you to eat a vegetable, they're probably telling you to eat the vegetable because they want your heart and the rest of your body to be healthy. And the more healthy the food you eat, the more healthy your body can be, because your body takes all of the good things inside of the food and it processes it for your body. It takes out the vitamins and the minerals and the energy and converts it so your body can use it. So that's another interesting fact about hearts. So let's see, what else should we talk about? So, well, let's think. What can you do this Valentine's Day? How can you show someone else that you really care about them? How can you make someone feel special? Can you do something nice for someone else? Can you give them some candies or homemade cookies? Can you write them a nice letter? Can you go and give them a hug and tell them thank you for being my friend? Or for being my mommy and daddy? All those things are different ways that you can show someone that you love them on Valentine's Day. So kids, I invite you to do something really nice today. To go and try to find your mommy or your daddy or your brother or sister and give them hugs and tell them that you love them. Say, I love you. Thank you for being my friend. And you know what? That will make them feel so, so happy, and it'll make you feel happy too. So that's the challenge for today, to go out there and try to be really nice to someone this Valentine's Day and today as you're listening to this video. Alright, so we'll color in the rest of this wooden table. Got this circular wooden table. It looks like an oval. There we go. We'll color in the tabletop with this brown color. There we go. Color the table leg in with brown. And let's see, what are we missing? What else should we color in? How about we'll color in these picture frames? We'll make them wooden picture frames. Now these are wooden picture frames, and I'd say a lot of picture frames are wooden, but some are actually metal. Did you know that? And some are really big and expensive and have glass in front of them. Some are cheaper, have plastic. There's all sorts of different types of picture frames, but it's important to be careful with picture frames and not to play with them, because if they fall off the wall, they're fragile. Do you know what fragile means? Fragile means that if they fall and hit the ground or get lots of pressure or impact, that they can break. And that wouldn't be fun. That would make mommy and daddy probably very sad if their picture frame broke. So it's always a good idea to not touch the picture frames in general as a child, because they're held up with this little itty bitty nail behind it that it's kind of hooked onto. And so if you touch it just a little bit, it can fall off really easily. Another interesting thing about picture frames, so they can fall off really easily, and if there's ever an earthquake, it's important to not go near things like picture frames that can fall off the walls and land on you and hit you and bop you in the head. That wouldn't be fun. So let's draw the bottom of the wall there with this horizontal line. Horizontal means it goes sideways. A line that's vertical means it goes up and down. So we're going to color in with this pink. Maybe we have this pink colored carpet. That's kind of a funny idea. Have you ever seen a pink carpet before? I don't think I've seen a pink carpet. Well, maybe I have. But like our carpet's more of a tan, yellow, or brown color. Sometimes there's green carpets or red carpets, brown carpets. Yeah, there's all sorts of different types of carpets. Some carpets are very plain. Others have lots of patterns. Some are really poofy and soft. Others are really skinny and hard, kind of. Not poofy. They're thin. They don't have the padding. So anyway, I think that about wraps up our Valentine's drawing for today. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have new videos coming out every day. And just like I mentioned before, I invite you to do something really nice for someone right now. Go find your mommy or daddy and give them a hug and tell them you love them. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.